Hey, what's up? It's Lauren before hours. This is my first time talking out loud this morning, so I just realized how rusty I sound. Anyway, I wanted to come on here and talk about the importance of setting boundaries, especially if you're self-employed, if you are in the entrepreneurial space, if things are picking up for you, if things are a little bit slow for you. Either way, I think boundaries are something that is incredibly essential to set in place for yourself, especially if you're a people pleaser like your homegirl. And this looks like different things. I have boundaries with the way that I structure my day. I have boundaries with when and how I take calls. I have boundaries with people in terms of expectations. I mean, boundaries in this video takes on a lot of different definitions. It's a continuous evolution being in business with yourself. But when I was first starting out, my biggest boundary was doing a lot of the heavy lifting with cold outreach, with networking, with trying to get people to better know who I am so that they like, know, and trust me. When you don't have a whole lot of connections starting out, it takes an exponential amount of energy to get the gears going. It's like starting a train. Once the train is in motion, it's really easy for it to kind of carry itself, but getting it going takes an amazing amount of energy. It's pretty ridiculous. So my biggest boundary with me starting out was sitting down, doing the really, really boring work that no one except me saw, and hoping that that would translate into some opportunities or even some money. The second boundary that I feel like I set for myself was aligning myself with the people that felt right. And this is going to evolve. This is going to change over time because you are a person who grows. You're a person who has goals. You're a person you're not going to be the same person next year that you are today. So your network, your circle of people, your social circles that you run with, I mean, that's gonna ebb and flow a little bit, and that's okay. I'm going to tilt this down a little bit. In fact, I had a networking, and there's a lot of networking. I mean, you're going to be hopping on a lot of calls, emailing a lot of people on LinkedIn, being like, hey, are you down for a quick conversation, down for a quick chat? Hey, thanks for the conversation. I mean, there's a lot of that's going to be happening on LinkedIn. I don't know what your relationship with LinkedIn is like, but it is a pretty, I mean, you're going to be hanging out there a lot if you're in business with yourself. Anyway, I had a networking call with this lady. We had a mutual contact, so that was reason enough for us to connect, like most things that happen on LinkedIn. And what I thought was going to be like a half-hour conversation ended up turning into a 2-hour conversation about all the things that were wrong with my business, which I thought that lady had some balls telling me that after knowing me for just 15 minutes. At the time, I did not have the boundaries in place to be like, you know what, I'm going to stop you right there. It's been great talking with you. I've got another call. I didn't have another call. I got another call coming up. I got to jump ship, but it was great talking to you. Let's never do this again. That's what I wish I said, but what did I do? I just sat there and took it with a bunch of disagreements and rebuttals in my head that I never vocalized because I wanted to be nice. It was funny though too, because I literally just told her what my main signature offer was, and I guess that was enough for her to go off of for 2 hours. Anyway, never talk to her again. So align yourself with people who feel right, who are doing what you're doing a little bit better than you, who are a little more efficient than you, who have the kind of revenue that you want, who have the type of clients that you want, who complement the type of work, the skills, the services that you have. All that stuff is really important. It doesn't necessarily have to be people who do the same thing as you, because if you end up attracting some clients and they want more than what you can offer, it's really easy to kind of lean on them, be like, hey, do you want to collaborate on this project with me, on this client with me? You know, maybe we can split some of the revenue, or you can white label it and just be like, hey, would you mind helping me out on the back end here? And then you're the only forward facing person, so the client never knows the difference. I mean, there's lots of opportunities for that so that you don't lose a prospect. So yeah, I would say second boundary is being really clear with who you want to orient yourself around. And if they're doers, a lot of people in the entrepreneurial space just talk a lot about the stuff that they want to do, the places that they want to go, where they want to be. It's very aspirational, and I'm all for it. But if there's no action to it, you might as well just be a rock with consciousness. That sounds harsh, but I won't take it back. The third boundary I would say that's essential to have with yourself is really getting your systems down pat on the back end. That's like the really boring, unsexy SOP, standard operating procedures, goal setting, quarterly goal type stuff. I mean, it's pretty darn boring, but man, is it necessary. It's like eating your vegetables. It's like doing your homework. It's going to set you up for success because it's going to help streamline everything. So having enough self-discipline to actually execute on those things is going to save you so much time later, especially especially when you start hiring people out or getting contractors or outsourcing work or anything like that. I promise you that is really going to come in handy. Now, for me, actually doing those things was a lot of work. It was a lot of hours in conversation with ChatGPT about how exactly to do that, documenting them, organizing my entire Google Drive, which was just a dumpster fire of a mess for a while. Please do that. And setting a schedule for yourself so that you accomplish all the things that you know that you need to accomplish. This has changed so much for me because my demands have fluctuated over the months and especially over the years. So what I used to do, and up until very, very recently actually, is I would assign themes to my day, because when you're starting out, like I said in the beginning, it's a pretty darn heavy lift and there's a lot that you're responsible for just setting up to attract those opportunities. So I would set themes for my day, and like on Monday it would be a client day. Okay, my whole goal with this is to get clients or to serve the clients that I already have, do the things that I say I'm going to do, all that stuff, make sure that they're happy. Tuesday maybe is going to be a media day or something like that, where I'm batch recording a bunch of content or I'm writing scripts or I'm doing whatever. Wednesday is another media day, because marketing takes up a lot of your time, or it should, I guess, when you're in business with yourself. That's a hard balance, delivering on the people that you've already attracted while also continuing to market yourself, while also continuing to build out your systems and processes so that you can scale and not be bogged down and not be your own bottleneck. That's really hard. That's like the little sticks with the plates spinning on it, but you've got like 5 of them balancing on you. So I used to set themes for my days and stuff, and up until recently, I ended up not doing that anymore, just because my needs, my demands, my expectations for myself changed. So now what I do, instead of working from 7 to 4 or 3 or something, now I wake up at 5 a.m. I'm in the 5 a.m. club, not because I want to be. Please don't misunderstand me. I don't want to be up at... Who in their right mind would willingly wake up at 5 a.m.? I'm not going to do that to prove a point or to post on LinkedIn. I don't want to be awake for that. But I'm in it because I know that I do my deepest and best work in the morning. That's my focus time. No one bugs me because no one's up at 5 a.m. It's like the world is still asleep and I get to catch up on my work. God, I feel like Richard Gere in Pretty Woman. Anyway, I wake up at 5 a.m. now, do a bunch of work, and then in a perfect world, if I was working 8 hours solid, I would be done at 1 o'clock, but it never works out that way. I usually work from about 5 to 3 or so. My brain shuts off about mid-afternoon. I also have a 5-month-old puppy, and we're still trying to get that figured out, so I have him in the mix. My husband also happens to be out of town this week, so there's a lot happening in the household. And I'll put blocks and stuff in my calendar for from 5 to 11, 5 to 9 or something. This is deep focus time. I shut the world out, throw in my AirPods, what are these, headphones, do the work that needs to be done. My brain starts to get a little bit mushy mid-morning, so then I'll kind of dial back. I'll do some little miscellaneous work. And then now what I've started doing, because I do my best and deepest work in the morning, I really don't want that disrupted. So I've been pushing a lot of my calls and meetings into the afternoon if I can do that. If I need to get flexible with people, I will. At the absolute earliest I'll book a call is 11, but generally noon and later, 1 and later, I'm good. My brain is pretty much fried on my stuff anyway by that point, and I can just be all outward focusing and just talk to people, get stuff done, catch up, follow up on all the stuff that I say that I'm doing, just administrative stuff, networking. All my calls and meetings are in the afternoon now. So third boundary, or whatever number I'm on, is just having a bunch of self-discipline with yourself. The fourth boundary, and I guess the last one, because I'm running out of ideas here, is that whatever you do, it's got to be really good. Really good. As good as you can make it with where you're at, the resources, the connections, the material, the financial means that you have. Just do it to the best of your ability with wherever you're at. That way, it's always proportional. The more money you have, the more time you have, whatever. I mean, your quality of work should be proportional to the means and the resources that you currently have available to you. So if you don't have a whole lot going for you right now, if you don't have any revenue, if you don't have any clients, you're still doing your absolute best, but it's more for you so that you can attract a lot of those opportunities. Once you have some of those opportunities, it's doing a really good job on delivering them, whether it's really quickly, whether it's really high quality, whether it's a lot of value for the price. I mean, it's going to vary depending on who you are, what you do, and who you attract, but it's all the same. Just whatever you do it on purpose. I'm going to borrow Dolly Parton's words. Her quote is find out who you are and do it on purpose. I think that applies to this conversation too. I just tell you these things to save you a little bit of time, to validate some things that you might be feeling, to bring things to your consciousness that you might not even be aware of, especially if you're early on in your entrepreneurial journey. A lot of people talk the talk, but not a lot of people walk the walk. Please, for the love of God, be someone who walks the talk. Just be someone who says that they're going to do what they say that they're going to do for themselves, for their clients, for their colleagues, for their network, whatever. That's all I got. Hope you got something out of this. I got work to do.